Hey guys, I'm back. As you can see, I am now in a hotel making this video. Um, I forgot I was going to start off this video, but today's been quite a long day. I've drove for around 6 hours. Well, actually, I didn't drive for 6 hours, but the total drive was around 6 hours, and I drove for maybe 3 of those hours. But now I'm finally here. Did some work, as in did some actual work instead of just coding. Um, yes, I have a job outside, but it's not relating to code, so I kind of don't care. But yeah. So I had a thought, think about it. I think last night and also on the drive here. But essentially, I don't think I want to start this project. Let me just see if my mic is picking up. Okay, it looks like it's picking up. But I basically don't want to start this project here because obviously, like, I'm a bit far and um, I don't think I would be able to produce the best code. But there is something very important, a couple of very important things I can do when I'm here, and that is essentially an MVP and just a mind map, or maybe not a mind map, but just like a Word doc on what this project is going to be about. And it's going to be a public thing, so you guys can look at it, and I'm gonna make possibly a UML diagram relating to it. But I know I said I was gonna make a something. I forgot, to be honest. I said I was gonna make a bigger update video about where I've been basically. But now that I'm here, I kind of don't want to, and I completely forgot what I was gonna say, like in terms of what I wanted to say and what I wanted to give you guys an update on. But basically, we're just gonna work on this, and I'm really praying that OBS doesn't crash because the display crashed like a few minutes ago. But I think that's because Mac closed and then it reopened, which means I need to reset. So, what is habit lock? Okay, habit lock. The main idea around habit lock is, if I were to summarize it or sum it up in one sentence, actually, before I even write anything, this video is basically just going to be a walkthrough in terms of my mindset in before starting the project and what I want the project to be, because I feel like I've never made a video like this where it's like, okay, I start with the idea, I build it from nothing, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's something, right? So yeah, that's the general idea of it. But to get started, so what is the main idea in one sentence? The purpose of habit lock is to prevent users from accessing anything except their selected habits. Is to prevent users from accessing anything irrelevant to their selected habits. Okay, so, and that's basically it. Okay, it's going to be an app that helps users prevent accessing anything irrelevant to their selected habits, or to their selective habits slash I must put in currently selected habits slash topic. Okay, and with that we can write a few functional requirements already in terms of what the application is going to do. So the first functional thing, the application should block anything that does not have any relevancy, does not have any relevancy towards the selected topic, right? And this leads in pretty nicely, and obviously I'm gonna write a comment here. Relevancy can be decided a couple of ways. First way is substrings topic, because it could be like a massive habit topic, right? and I think it'll remove descriptive words. Wait, no. Remove irrelevant words like the, and, or, stuff like that, right? Substring is a topic, and then as a checker that essentially checks if the URL being supplied, I guess it'll be a function, if the URL being supplied has any of those relevant key terms, right? And the second one is use AI. Okay, now this is experimental, highly experimental, and most likely inconsistent. Now I could create an AI of my own, or like, you know, develop a machine learning bot on my own, but currently I don't know how to do AI, and I feel like that could be something that could be done in the future, but for now we're going to keep it simple and we're just going to try and get this MVP. So I'm going to put, let's just put like, there might be a few, so the second one, which leads in nicely because I can already think of it, the application should allow users to select habits. I'm just gonna say topics, okay? Select topics that they this is a habit locker. Give it a habit. Select whichever habit they want to enforce, and at the same time they want to enforce, and at the same time select which they want to, and the time they want to develop the habit. Okay, so we already got two, which is pretty important, and these are maybe the most important. Yeah, we can go into specifics later. So these are two, and functional requirements basically just means like functions that exist on the program that require some functionality or some logic behind it. But there is a non-functional requirement, which is basically like it should be doing this without having to program it, right? And it should kind of just be done with programming. And there already is a non-functional requirement, which is the first one. Cache user data, right? If user signs in and stores their habits, it should be cached either locally, both locally, and on a backend server, right? And then this leads me into my next point for functional, which is one of the points that I kind of want to talk about. So when you're doing this kind of mind map, or kind of just like this ideation formation of like whatever app you want to build, you're never gonna make all like functional requirements. You're never gonna find all functional requirements initially. You're kind of just gonna be like doing stuff piece by piece, and then eventually you'll be, oh yeah, it kind of needs this, so that you can go back. So you don't have to worry about like, you know, just filling out 50 functional requirements basically, right? In fact, I should make a to-do for this. So bit of a sidetrack, but just for the sake of it, because I want to encapsulate this to do. So the first is MVP, and this is basically MVP, right? The idea, the functional requirements, and the general layout. Okay, so idea, FR, NFR, and UML. Diagram representation. So the next thing, I should have written it down. Okay, I think it's yes, I guess the application should allow for users to select multiple habits and allow them to select the order in which the habits should be enforced, Right. So basically, for this third function requirement, it should be like, imagine I was to give you an example of you know, you had the first habit, which is coding, the second habit, which is boxing, the third habit, which is gym, and then the fourth habit, which is go for a run or something, right? You have these 4 habits, and a user should be able to like have 4 habits basically, and then, you know, say coding is at 7 a.m. to 8 for like 1 hour, and then boxing is another hour, and then gym is 1.5, and then running is like 30 minutes. Okay, so then these things should like link perfectly, and I guess since it's kind of side by side, obviously like should be able to set a break. Should allow users to set multi-times, as well as the break in between. So, you know, if you want a 30-minute break from habit number 1 to habit number 2, then you can just set it to 30 minutes, and then it'll set a 30-minute break. And I'm still not sure what the break would be, whether or not you'd be able to access anything. But I think for now, it's just gonna be like a rest your mind kind of break, instead of like continually stimulating it, basically. Okay. So now that we're here, I think these 3 are pretty much the gist of the functional requirements. This honestly could be a non-functional requirement, because the idea of this doesn't really like give you an idea of like a function that should be doing this. It's kind of just like, okay, your app should be doing this. And I guess to make this a functional requirement, the application should be blocking anything, should continually be blocking anything, running a function to block anything until they have completed the allotted time. How do you spell allotted? Should continue to be running. Okay, so now we have 3 functional requirements, and if I think of any more, I'm gonna come back to this. Okay, our next part is non-functional requirements. So obviously, we want to be able to cache user data, which is very important. This one is a lot less intuitive in terms of like how it should be, but the general idea of it, let me just add tech stack, and then I guess target audience, but it's kind of self-explanatory. I'm just gonna I can't move it up. Great. So I'm just gonna get rid of this and put that here. So the target audience is probably gonna be individuals who are sick of wasting time doom scrolling, Slack, or want to establish good and healthy habits relating to digital tools, but often become distracted due to the freedom of the internet, I guess. Right. So that's the target audience, and we could narrow it down further, but for the sake of this, I don't really care, because, you know, if somebody wants to use this, they'll use it. So let me just check, because I'm currently charging. That's fine. Okay, I need to stop eating away my laptop's battery. So the next important step is a diagram. Now I'm just gonna do a very simple diagram. It's not even gonna be a UML diagram. It's just gonna be a user flow diagram. Okay, so it's a user, and when they come into the app, they don't need to sign in. So they just go to home page. Oh yeah, and then the pages as well. So because this is a full stack app, but I'm kind of developing the front end and the back end, there should be a specific section. It's like way MVP, actual programming, front end pages, there's more important stuff, but for now we'll just leave that there. So user to homepage, and the homepage will basically just be I'm trying to think. It's hard to visualize like out of thin air what the program will look like, but I guess habit page, right? And then we might not even have a habit page, and it might just be write a habit you want to cultivate, and I'm just gonna put it in single brackets just to show that that's a prompt to the user, right? And I'll write a comment here saying that single are questions prompted to the user. So it might even be just like a form initially, right? It might just be like one of the Google forms where it's just like it's gonna ask you a question, right? So write the habit that you want to cultivate. Write the time you want to cultivate this for, right? And we're using cultivate a lot, and for some reason it's like giving me the idea of like a plant. You know, you kind of, I guess habits can kind of be considered like nurturing a plant. You know, it's just like if you don't continually water it, or like, you know, continually do your habit, it kind of starts wilting, and you know, you need to take care of it and stuff. But if you do take care of it, it's like, you know, it blooms, it stays nice, but you kind of have to keep doing it to bloom it. Okay, so there's another section for the MVP. Brand, right? Big one. Brand cultivation. Plants, flowers. Okay. Okay, so write a habit you want to cultivate. Write the time you want to cultivate this habit for. Write the time you want to spend on this habit every day. Okay? And then I guess, is this a digital? I mean, even before that, it should ask a prompt on, are you struggling with distractions on relating to technology? Right? Because our target audience is people who want to cultivate habits, but they can't because, you know, either their habits are just related to the digital world, or they kind of just go to the digital world when they procrastinate. Okay, and if it's yes, go here. Sorry, one second. Okay, and I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Yes is there, and then no. I guess, do you still want to cultivate? Because it should still be a general purpose program, right? I think that's kind of the concept of this called substitution principle, right? If you have a subclass of a regular class, in this case, I guess the entire application is a class of a to-do app, and the cultivation app is a subclass of that to-do app. It should extend, if not like make better, the original class, and in this case it actually extends it, because, you know, it's not just a regular to-do app. It can be used as a regular to-do app, but it's not designed to be a regular to-do app, because it blocks basically any internet access that isn't relating to whatever you're doing. on the internet, right? And I guess in the sense of like gym and stuff, you could probably still search for gym content, but yeah, it'll probably like, still just be like, I mean, that's kind of on you. If you're using this and you're like trying to cultivate a gym habit and you're still on your phone and you're just searching up gym stuff, I guess that's kind of on you. So, you still want, yes, and then, this will be great. Okay, let me just use this as a chart because this is a very great state diagram kind of thing. Is my assignment? No. Fine, whatever. I don't care. We can just use this. Okay. Let me just finish this first because I kind of want to finish this. So, right the time you want to spend, is this a digital? So this question should be asked initially, right? Let's see. Are you struggling with distractions related to technology? No. Do you still want to cultivate habits and be consistent with them? Yes. Right, a habit. At the time you want to spend this. And then set a time frame that you believe you can consistently perform this habit. And then the lower and easier, the better. Okay. And then goes to habit page, right? And then add more habits, basically. I guess, right? And move habit order around. And then application. How do I do a down arrow? This, and then a V. Oh my god. That looks so goofy. Okay. And then the application, once it finishes that, right? It'll get that and then it'll go to the back end, I guess. And then blah, blah, blah. We don't need to go into specifics. It's just a general idea of how the application's going to run. So for now, we're just going to highlight everything that we've done just to be able to keep track. And the yellow ones is the ones that we're not fully done on. Oh, that's terrible, actually. Give me orange. This one. These ones will kind of never be like done because once you finish these functional requirements, then you're like, okay, let me extend it like this, and then let me extend like this, and then let me keep extending it. Okay, so this is gonna be pretty funny, but I think I'm gonna do the backend in Java because I was thinking about how the iPhone and the computer and the laptop might have different operating systems. And personally, I just want to try and use the design pattern for that solution and just have, use the strategy pattern so that whatever device you're on, it kind of just changes it based on runtime, right? So the front end is most likely going to be React, maybe TypeScript, that's a maybe, and Tailwind CSS, because I love Tailwind. And after coding with CSS modules, I realized that it is very, very painful, okay? In the long term, at least. But React is, I guess, decent. No, I don't want to do Next.js. And then the backend is going to be Java. I'm just going to search up some Java backend frameworks. If there is any. Angular's Java? Django? Maybe Django then. This is Python. What are you talking about, bro? Come on. Express. Because really what I need is just the web server. Right. Javelin. Okay. Java. Why did I say Javelin? Oh my god, they got me. They got me good. It's just Javelin. That's not how you spell it. But yeah, right. Okay. Database. Probably gonna use Postgres. So it's pretty funny because these two things are literally just courses that I took this term, and I think I kind of want to cement my knowledge in them by using them in an actual application. Because personally, I think that's the best place for you to cultivate a skill and become more than just a learner of a skill, and eventually push yourself towards mastering the skill, right? Which is gonna take decades or like many years and many projects, but you gotta start somewhere, right? What else is there? Backend, Java, Javelin, database, Postgres, and that's it, right? That's the tech stack. And then I guess deployment is front end is. I've had no issues with Vercel, and it's very easy to use, and I quite like it. So Docker on local server. So I have a local server, and by me I mean my brother built a local server, and I'm using it as a backend web server, right? So if you guys are looking to deploy your apps on the backend, I can't really suggest anything in terms of like what you can do for some free options, but you can definitely buy some web app from a backend server from like some websites, and they're okay. They're like $12 a month or something, I think. But yeah, if you can get it free, and if you know how to configure a backend server, then I highly recommend you do it, because you'll save a lot of money, especially for these projects, because you don't really expect a lot of traffic to come onto these small scale projects, because they're small scale projects. But if they do build a lot of traffic, and if you are selling a product, then you can probably use the funds that you get from sales to upgrade your server, and then essentially just build your own server, so it's pretty valuable. Okay, so tech stack, we're done. I don't think this will change. I'm just gonna set it as red. Wait, red. Yeah, okay, sure. Diagram representation. We'll do this. Actual programming. Front-end pages. And I think that's it. That's pretty much everything that I'm just going to do. Obviously, I'm going to work on this, continue to work on this, but for now, I'm just going to leave it at that, okay? And then I will allow everybody to view it. Yeah. So you guys, I'll put this in the link below, just so, if you guys want to replicate whatever the fuck I'm doing. It's not great, it's not pretty, but, it's something, it's better than nothing. And actually, I might try and get another functional requirement, non-functional requirement. So cache user data, which is non-functional, and let me think, non-functional requirements. What would the next non-functional requirements? Should I just ask online? Sometimes you just do this if you're kind of stuck, Performance, operating constraints, modifiability, reliability. Should allow users to access the application on any device, right? And then, is there any more? Let me think. Platform constraints, modifiability. Since we're using Java, it's pretty modifiable if I follow design patterns and just general good coding practices, like OOP practices, portability and requirements and capability, reliability. We don't need to worry about that. It's a small app. Security, not really. There's no money being involved. Operating constraints, I guess. Performance and scalability. I guess since we are using a local try to minimize traffic coming from the backend. Additionally, right API calls they are used at minimum. Remember that backend should be the only true source of information and should only be changed if absolutely necessary. Okay. So obviously it's hard to minimize API calls and just like traffic coming into the backend, but I think it's still good general purpose or good general practice to try to minimize traffic, especially if you're using a small server. Even if you're using like AWS or something, if you have like an unrestricted traffic thing, and you just get all of a sudden 10,000 concurrent users or 10,000 users just hop into your website, AWS is gonna adjust for that, and they're gonna charge you like $200, maybe even more, right? Depending on traffic. But that's it. We got a good working prototype, a good working MVP-ish. Like, it's kind of useful in the sense that it kind of gets us started, gets us off the ground, and I think this is gonna be the majority of stuff that I'm gonna do for this holiday. I'm only here for like another night, and I'll be back in Sydney I'll be back home in 2 days. So new folder, what am I saying? Habitlock. So yeah, that's that. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm definitely glad that I'm actually getting off my ass and doing stuff instead of just sitting here enjoying, or like, dying, basically. So yeah, this is a part 1 of part 2. The next part is going to be actually setting up, I guess, the prototype and skeleton, and writing down the front end pages and what I need, and maybe updating this along the way. But for now, this is where we're at. Okay, if you want to look at it, feel free to. Okay.